Okay, so now we have our second row done. We are going to start our third. I'm going to use another color. Sorry, these aren't the fanciest colors, but I am going to make a slip knot. Remember, we're not going to stick it in yet. And then you're going to choose where you want to start. I like to keep with I like to kind of start around the same place I ended. So this time, instead of starting in a corner, I'm going to start right in this middle of this side, or the middle of this side here. Okay, so I'm going to stick my hook through here, put my loop on the hook, tighten that a little bit. I don't like it super tight here, but I am going to bring that through and then make a chain, make 2 chains, I'm sorry. And you'll notice that you've got a couple of strings, a couple of tails here. And if you're able to work over those tails, do that as much as you can. So I'm going to do a granny stitch in here. So we're going to do 3, 1, 2, and 3 double crochets. Okay. So we are right literally in the middle of this row. And we're not on a corner. So I'm not going to chain. I am going to go straight into this next space. And if you haven't noticed, if I didn't say it before, granny stitches are always worked into spaces, not into the stitches. Okay, spaces, not stitches. So we are going to yarn over and go straight to this corner. So I'm going to do 3 double crochets here. Alright, I am at a corner now. I've got like this part of that side done, but I need to turn my corner, so I'm going to do 3 chains, and I need to crochet into this space again to finish that corner. We don't go straight over here, okay? So we are going to make another granny stitch here. Okay, so now we need to work this side. We are not at a corner, so we do not need to chain. We are just going to yarn over and go straight to that next space. And we are going to do our granny stitches here. Okay, we're still not at a corner, so we don't have to chain. We're going to yarn over and go straight into this space. Okay. Alright, so now we are at a corner. We just finished this side. We are on our 3rd row, or our 3rd round, and on the side we have 1, 2, 3 granny stitches. So I need to make a corner, and we're going to go right into the same corner space again. Okay, we are not in a corner anymore. We need to go into this side space here. I am going faster because I do think that these are a little easier here. Maybe not yet for you, but I think you can catch where I'm going. Again, we're not at a corner yet, so I'm just going to yarn over and go straight, no chaining. Alright. Alright, so I finished that row, and now I do need to make a corner, so I am going to chain 3 and do my next granny stitch into the same space. Alright, no chaining here, just gonna keep working that side. All right, so I have finished 3 sides, almost finished the 4th, and I need another corner. So 1, 2, 3, my last corner, and my last granny stitch is here. Okay, here we are. I am going to slip stitch here, and I am going to do one more row on this square just so you see how much easier it is once you have those first 2 rows done. Remember, the first 2, you're really establishing your sides and your corners, so it can be a little confusing. And also keep in mind that I generally don't like to change colors because you have to deal with these guys later on. So I do a lot of solid color granny squares, but I love the way that the traditional changing every color looks. It's just I don't like the fallout. Okay. Last one, I am going to work into this spot because I like to be close. You really could go anywhere. I'm just telling you what I do. There's not always a reason. Okay, stick your hook in here. We're gonna add our loop, tighten it up a little bit, but not super tight. And we're gonna chain 2. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and make my first granny stitch, and we are in the middle. Oh, I need one more. We're in the middle of a side. Sides and corners, sides and corners. We're in the middle of a side. So I have 1, 2 more that I can do on this side before I turn the corner. So no chaining, just the next space. Again, no chaining, I'm just going to go to that next space. Always remember, when you're on a corner, you need to chain 3 or 2, whatever you end up doing, and do another granny stitch into the same space. Alright, so I am going to go work just quickly around. Keep in mind, I don't have to chain when I'm going through the sides. I just go straight to the next space. And I hope that you see all the spaces that we're making by doing that. And the awesome thing about granny stitches is the reason why people can do this once they get comfortable without looking is because they're not going into an actual stitch like that. They can feel this with their fingers much easier. So it's much easier to stitch into a space than to stitch into a stitch. So I'm going to work this quickly. I want to make sure that you guys know how to do some closing ceremonies. To finish this off, you can, like, if this was as big as I was going to make it, there's a couple of things that we can do for finishing. So, if you know, so first of all, I'm going to slip stitch this together. I haven't chained or anything yet. I'm leaving that there for a second. If you are going to end with this color, then you can just tie it off like we've done every other row. What I tend to like to do, if I know that I am going to join my if I know I'm going to join this together with another project, sometimes I will do a row of single crochet in the same color as my last row, just to make it look, I like the way that looks, but that's not necessary. But if you do that, you will do 3 single crochets in this space and then a single crochet into every single one of these stitches. So you will be crocheting into the stitches, not in the spaces there. But I am going to close this off and leave it like this. And I hope that you learned something from that. I think this